you joking?
No.
Hey guys, so we're going on a trip.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad, how are you? Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Hey boys and girls, how are you guys getting on? It's been a while. This is me, Mossy, and Lejane, my wife.
Hi.
So what's been happening? It's been a wee while. Obviously I've been away for a long time and I know everybody has a lot of questions. But let's just start from the basics. I've just finished my exams. You know, it's been an incredibly stressful couple of months. I've been doing my final exams for the ending of medicine. And these are the exams which were supposed to dictate whether I would become a doctor or not. And alhamdulillah, here we are at the other side. You are now speaking to Dr. Mossy Maqsood. Thank you very much. Everyone is here because they want to know more about us, they want to know how we're getting on, because it's been so long. And so what I did was ask everybody for a bunch of questions, so let's do that. I suppose before we get started on the questions, we should probably tell the viewers where exactly we're going just now.
Yep, so inshallah when Mossy starts working, he's going to be moving to a new city, and then inshallah I'll join him up there when I graduate as well.
Yeah, exactly. So here I am now going up north in the country, the north of Scotland, to check out the city that I'm going to be moving to. So the boys and girls sent quite a few questions for us, Lejane. There was questions on YouTube, there was questions on Instagram. So I suppose we should just start from the basics. The first few were just, how are you? Assalamu alaikum, hey, my favourite couple, how are you? How is married life treating you? How has married life been after 9 or 10 months? So, how are you then, Lejane? Yeah. So I suppose we've already tackled that. Has been a couple of months which have been really, really stressful. But now I'm doing good, you know, and knowing that I've passed my exams, I'm feeling really good.
I think the last couple of months have been quite stressful, especially since I had exams and alhamdulillah I passed as well. And then it was kind of just on to you and everything that you had to do for like finishing medical school. So it's just been quite a roller coaster, I'd say. But alhamdulillah, it's been settling down now, I'd say.
How is married life treating us?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm quite enjoying it.
Yeah, being married is really good. It's, well, as everybody knows, or if you don't know, marriage in Islam is one of the most important things that we can possibly partake in. And what it has enabled us in the procedure is allowed us to spend even more time together, you know, which is legitimized in the eyes of God. And with that permission, with that permissibility comes an ease in the relationship, which allows us to get to know one another a lot more. But when it comes to like the logistical things, like living together, you know, being together day to day, we haven't got into that yet. And the reason for that is because we were both studying, and so we made the decision to get our nikah done so that everything was legitimized in the eyes of God. The decision is, as soon as Lejane has graduated, we can move in together. Okay, so the next set of questions that we had, so how did you guys meet, and then someone said, do a Q&A about your love story.
Well, I like telling the story a lot, so can I tell it from my point of view? So really it started at the beginning of third year when you came down from St Andrews and you joined my year of medicine. And I remember the first time I saw you, you walked into the lecture theatre and you were late. And I just kind of saw you and I was like, oh, that guy's quite ethnically ambiguous, like where's he from? And then you came up as a suggested friend on Facebook. And I guess at that point I was like, I'm interested, but I'd never ever spoken to you, and like, oh, you're so big, you know, like I didn't really run into you after that. And that was all fine, and then we finished our third year exams, and that was like more than halfway into the year really. We began our placement. So it was the first day of starting my new block, and I got a Facebook message, and it was Erin, like your friend. was like, I'd seen Aaron with you, so I also associated him with you, and I was like, when he said, oh, my friend Mossy, blah blah, I was actually thinking of you. I was like, oh, that must be him. And then me and Aaron spent quite a long time on acute receiving. But you joined us for one of our OSCE sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember seeing you, and I was like, oh, okay, mashallah, nice.
You're checking you.
No. I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry him. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, fine.
Like, none of that went through my mind. It was just like, oh, mashallah, like, he seems like a nice guy. You were really friendly with everyone. You carried yourself well. And I don't know, I guess I was attracted to you. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it. I was. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so I suppose the first time we met, you know, I saw Lejane, and Aaron had introduced me to a lot of different people, not for any particular reason, just because he is the type to get to know more people, and so he would introduce me to more people, and I would never really, be with them the way I was with Lejane. I just felt it that day.
Yeah.
And
You asked me lots of questions.
Yeah, I asked her lots of questions, and I was just intrigued by this woman. For the very first time I met her, I went and just lay down on the couch because I was so exhausted, and then it just dawned on me that I'm being rude, and so I had to sit up, and then I started paying attention a lot more.
You were like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So from there on in, we did a lot of OSCE practice together, and eventually we got talking and discussing that, we have these feelings for one another, and we want to be sure that we're doing it in a legitimate, true way.
Yeah.
And so yeah, before long we'd gotten our parents involved.
Yeah. SubhanAllah, so a lot of things kind of aligned, even though that wasn't the first thing that kind of attracted me to you. Does that make sense? But like, SubhanAllah, it was just a lot of things I was like, oh, we have the same thinking on this. We like the same things, blah blah.
Yeah, ideologically we were very similar.
Yeah.
I hope that's satisfied a lot of people. Let's move on. Here's one. Do you / would you let your wife drive your car? So the answer to that is yes, I would. The true answer to that is she doesn't want to because she's far too scared. General gist of my car, she seems like it's a very scary car, so she doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
No, it's because it's
try.
like, right, I'm fine with manual. I drove manual for ages, but my problem is that it's such a low car that like I don't drive carefully. I take speed bumps like quite fast, blah blah blah, and I'm just so scared that I'm just going to do something to that car.
What age do you think talking to someone is appropriate? I think the best answer to that is there is no right age. It just kind of depends on where you are in your life.
Yeah.
So if you in your life are able to uphold the responsibilities of marriage and uphold the responsibilities that you would have of your wife and of your husband, then yeah, go ahead.
I think it's also important like not to make empty promises. So even if you're like, oh, I'll talk to someone now and like maybe I'll get married to them in like 3 or 4 years or whatever, like, don't kid yourself on. Actually think, do I have the means? Am I capable of actually giving them what they need? Because you might think that you're capable in 3 or 4 years, but actually it kind of has to be like from the get-go.
Yep, that's fair. Another question by the same gentleman, who is Zakir Salim, a good friend of mine. We grew up together. What's a thing in your life that you won't share with your wife? It's only for you. Okay. So the answer to that is my PlayStation 4 controller, now PlayStation 5 controller. I don't let anyone touch that, and even my wife can't touch that. It's precious. I want to take care of my analog sticks, everything. I want to take care of it. The truer answer to that is there's nothing off the cards for us. I think we discuss pretty much anything and everything. Lejane knows everything about me, and I know everything about her, and I think that was the key to our relationship, because otherwise it starts on a rocky foundation. And so we just wanted to make sure that we knew everything about one another. We got to know each other properly, so that we knew exactly what we were getting into.
Exactly.
This is a gig that's going to be for the rest of our lives, and our lives are very long. We might as well make the right decision.
Yeah, I guess it's just about acceptance, like knowing, like you said, what you're actually getting into, and accepting that person for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
you want to charge your phone or?
No, that's okay. Right, let's get back on the road, yeah?
Salam guys, so we just had food and now we're back on the road and we've swapped drivers. We're going to answer some more questions. So we actually get this question a lot, and it's, where are you guys from? I am Syrian. Both my parents are Syrian. I was born in Syria, but I was raised here in the UK. What about you, Moss?
Yep, so I was also raised in the UK. I was raised in Scotland my whole life, but my parents are originally from Pakistan.
Yep, you're Pakistani, yeah?
So the next question is, favourite place you visited together and what you did there?
So we've not been many places because most of our relationship has been through COVID. But before COVID, we did go to Edinburgh for the Christmas markets.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved that experience. I loved going around in our big coats around the markets and, you know, buying all the desserts, etc. So I loved that experience. What about you?
Yeah, Edinburgh. I also really loved when we went to Loch Lomond. I really liked that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Loch Lomond is like a big lake here in Scotland, and it's got quite a lot of shore, so you can find like private areas, so that was really nice. Right, so this is a good question. How do you guys balance between your respective studies and married life? Is it difficult to make time for each other?
Yeah, definitely, it's hard.
Yeah, it's
of course it's hard. You know, we're both in very busy degrees, but we do make time for ourselves. We try our best to, you know, when we do meet, you know, wind downs and make sure that we spend time which is with each other, not doing things that are, you know, distracting us from one another, but rather spending time with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think it's difficult, especially because we also have families and like different responsibilities. But inshallah, like that'll be solved when we're actually living together, because then our downtime is together and we can kind of have a bit more time to do other things, inshallah. Okay, so next question is, if you could tell yourselves one thing before you got married, what would that be? So basically, I would tell myself that you'll get a lot of people telling you things, a lot of people having their own opinions, and it's important to not necessarily take it to heart and listen to everything that is being said your way. Essentially just don't care what people think. If something feels right and you are making dua and praying, etc., then, you know, just go for it. McDonald's, crunchy fried chicken and a pizza.
So what fried chicken?
Crunchy fried chicken.
So what's the K in KFC?
Crunchy fried chicken.
What is the K in KFC?
Crunchy with a K?
Are you joking?
No.
Kentucky. Kentucky fried chicken. Kentucky.
It's not crunchy. Crunchy fried chicken and a pizza. No.
Okay, boys and girls, thank you very much for sending all those questions in. We have got a few more. We'll answer them in a wee while. So the next stop is we're almost at the city, and we've got quite a lot of work to do, quite a lot of things to see. So yeah, I'm going to sign off here just now, and I'll see you on the flip side after we're done. Hey boys and girls, so here we are, finally taking a bit of a break from seeing the city, seeing the places that we could possibly live in for the next year or so. Gosh, it's been stressful going from place to place and seeing everything that we need to see to make sure that we make the right decisions. But here we are, finally taking a break, had a bit of a sandwich, and they were saying this really nice park. Beautiful day out. So we've got a few more stops to make after this. We'll do that, and then hopefully we can get some dinner in before home time.
Inshallah.
Okay, so that's us. We've scoured the city. We've checked everything that we possibly could to see where is the best place to live, and our decision is inconclusive. So it's been a 3-hour journey and an entire day, and we're not entirely sure. That's okay, we're in a nice park now, and in this park what we're going to do is answer a couple last questions before we sign off, boys and girls. So let's just answer a few more questions that we had from YouTube and Instagram. Jane, what do we have next?
So Iman asked, how can both of you fix your arguments? How to develop our personalities? And for Lejane, what is your skincare?
Okay. So how do both of us fix our arguments? So it's not easy. Obviously the arguments can get quite intense. But regardless, in spite of the arguments, I think the idea is to find a bit of commonality, the common ground, and as soon as we find the common ground and we start seeing reason in one another, maybe give each other space for a wee while, but eventually bringing ourselves around to be able to find that common ground.
And I think it's also like about letting the other person experience their irrational feelings, if that makes sense. Like if they're angry or upset, whatever, like let them feel it out and then come to discuss, whereas if you're discussing it while you're like feeling all those emotions, it's really hard to come to.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Okay, so final question, because as you can see we're very tired, so we just want to sign off as soon as possible. So, opinion on marrying young and how to tell your parents you like someone. Now obviously we've already discussed about marrying young. I don't think it's about age, it's more likely that it's about the position in life that you're in. But in terms of telling your parents, I think you have more experience in that, don't you, Lejane?
Yeah, so I think for me it was like, I think naturally you're a bit closer to one parent, so I confided in my mum and I just said, oh, you know, someone's interested, and that's all I said. I didn't give details, and it's come off too eager or anything like that. I was just like, you know, someone's interested. And she kind of asked me a lot of questions, and at first she was like, no, not sure, blah, blah. But then she kind of warmed around to it, and then she brought it up with my dad, and then they kind of discussed it, and then they discussed it with me. So yeah, I think my first tip is to actually confide in the parent that you're close to, and maybe don't do all the talking yourself, like let them ask you more of the questions.
Yeah, I suppose that helps with their concerns as well, and then you can maybe think about them in your own time as well. I suppose it's helpful more than interrogative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Right, Lejane, should we get rid of this camera and just focus on the road now?
Yes, please.
Yep, perfect. So, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you so much for sending in those questions. They've been incredibly fun to answer. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.
Salam.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh wait. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky.